In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to build this easy guardian farm for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This farm utilizes 4 different spawn spots in the ocean monument so that it's nice and easy to build, but still very, very efficient. As you can see, when you're running this farm, it gives you pretty much a constant stream of experience, along with all of the different drops you get from guardians. If you want to skip straight to the tutorial, there will be timestamps in the description, but otherwise, let's go over how this farm works. So, as I'm sure many of you know, there are 25 different spawn spots on Minecraft Bedrock Edition for ocean monuments. This means that each one of these pillars, a guardian will spawn. So if we were to remove some of these pillars, we would see guardians spawning in that area eventually. So what we've done is blocked off all of these other spawn spots so that we're only utilizing the 4 that we have available here. As you can see, the redstone for the farm itself is incredibly easy. We have a comparator clock here that is powering the trapdoors for the Trapdoor Trident Killer. The Guardians will spawn in their spawn spots, go into the Trapdoor Trident Killer, their drops and experience will go into these water streams where they'll then be pushed up to the player. And as you can see, we have a lovely big pile of XP right there. It's an incredibly easy farm to build, so let's get into the tutorial. Now, the first part to any farm is, of course, the materials list. I will leave a materials list in the description as well, and if there are any corrections I have to make, then it will be updated in the description, so do make sure to check that out. One important thing to know is that down here at the bottom, we have an empty locator map. This is for finding the direction you're facing, but you can use anything. It doesn't have to be a locator map. You could literally just use the sun or the coordinates. It's fine. You also need some water for your storage. And this could be ice or it could be water buckets, and also some more solid blocks than what I have above for blocking off the spawn spots. This depends on the height of your ocean monument. Finally, pretty much all of this glass can be solid blocks instead if this is too much glass. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find yourself an ocean monument like the one I have here. There's a couple of ways you can do this. One of those ways is heading over to this website called chunkbase.com that I'll leave a link to in the description. It has a monument finder page right here where you can put your world seed in, make sure it's on Bedrock, and then find all of the ocean monuments on your world. But after you've found your ocean monument, the first thing that you're going to want to do is make sure to fully kill all the Elder Guardians, which are, of course, the big ones that give you the mining fatigue effect. Now, I think this world was created with mobs spawning off, which is why there aren't any. But normally, you will have Elder Guardians, so just make sure none of them are around because you really do not want the mining fatigue effect. So after you've made sure your ocean monument is all clear, you're going to want to pull out your locator map or whatever means you have of working out the direction, and you're going to need to find the northwest. So this is north and this is west, which means northwest is over here. So we're going to come to the northwest corner and we're going to count 3 blocks in from this corner. So 1, 2, 3 right here, and then you're going to want to dig all the way down to the ocean surface like so. Pull out your solid blocks and then put them all the way up. And for some reason, the game has generated weirdly and given us some floating gravel. But you want to place these all the way up until you reach the ocean surface, like so. So this is your first spawn spot that we have successfully blocked off. There are 25 other spawn spots in the ocean monument. Now, there are quite a few different ways to find these spawn spots, including things like command blocks. My personal favorite is using a resource pack from Mad Hatter. In this resource pack, if you give the armor stand a prismarine shard, it will mark out all the spawn spots for you. So you can see right here, if we destroy this pillar, there is green because this is one of those spawn spots. However, I also know not everybody has access to use resource packs like that if you're on a console. So in a second, I will show you a graphic that shows the amount of distance between each spawn spot. So just to clarify with this graphic, the number represents the number of blocks between each spawn spot. So the first one is 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which means on the 11th is the actual spawn spot. It's just 10 blocks in between them. And that graphic is on screen now, so make sure to go ahead and pause it. It's also available in my Discord server. So after you've got all of your spawn spots marked out and blocked off like so, you're going to need to pull up your locator map or equivalent and head over to the northeast corner. So this way is north, this way is east, so this way is northeast. And you should see 4 different spawn spots in the corner here. These are actually the spawn spots that we're going to be using to build the farm. There should be 10 blocks in this direction and 9 blocks in this direction between these 4 spawn spots. Technically, you can build this farm on like any of the other corners. The main reason I'm choosing this one is because it lines up so stuff kind of looks symmetrical. Anyway, you're going to want to come over to your very far corner spawn spot like so. And on the outside, you're going to want to place blocks around it going 4 blocks down like so. And also make sure to fill in that corner. We're then going to come to this side and we are going to wrap it around like this. And then break 3 blocks from the spawn spot in the middle. You're then going to want to come to the spawn spot opposite the one that we just did all that stuff to. And do basically exactly the same again. So build 4 blocks down like so. Except for this time, we want it to be facing that one. And then 3 blocks from the middle. And the reason for that is because we're going to fill them together like so. We are then going to build a wall like this to connect them together and make sure to do that on either side. You don't need to fill in the corners here. The only reason we're filling the corners around the spawn spot itself is because there's a bug where they sometimes glitch out. You're then going to need to go ahead and fill in all of this water and just completely drain it out. And you can use temporary blocks or sponges for this. Whatever method is fine. And now that you've done that, you should have an 11 block long canal that looks like this, that is 3 blocks deep. You're then going to want to go ahead and place 1 block in the middle of that. And this is why we chose to build it here, because there is only 9 blocks between this spawn spot, which is of course an odd number, allowing us to have things symmetrical. You're then going to want to go ahead and pull out your trapdoors and place 1. You're then going to want to go ahead and pull out your trapdoors, place 1 on the face of this block. Make sure it is flipped up and closed like that. Place another on top of it, so like on top of it, and then 1 coming off that like that, and flick that one up as well. You then want to do the same on the other side, like so. And there you go. You should have something a little bit like this. You can also go ahead and remove those blocks underneath them there. This is where your items and your XP are going to fall into. So at this point, you're going to need to go ahead and rewind the video and basically do exactly what you did on these 2 spawn spots with these 2 spawn spots. And then we'll link them up using the power of magic, TM. So now you should have something like this. These should be exactly the same on both sides. You're going to want to go under the water and bring out your packed ice. This is where we're going to be linking and basically making the bubble stream itself. So you can now go ahead and break this block and break this block. Place a temporary block here, then 3 blocks of packed ice coming off that. Break the temporary block, then build the packed ice going all along here until you reach the other side, and then 2 more on there like that. If you wish to use glass, you can then go ahead and build a glass around this, or you can just use regular solid blocks. Technically any works. I just think it looks a lot nicer with glass. We're then going to go ahead and add a glass on the top here as well. Now, unfortunately, this part of the farm is not symmetrical. It's annoying, I know, but unfortunately there's no way. So you're going to have to remove either this block or this block. I'm going to remove this one, and this is where your bubble elevator will be. But before you place any soul sand, you're going to want to go ahead and place glass up here until you reach the surface, basically to stop the water from flooding back in. Now what you're going to need to do is go inside of the water, go into swim mode, and place temporary blocks on the inside of here so that you can drain out all of the water. So your soon-to-be bubble stream should be absolutely water-free now, so we're going to add in a little bit of water. And a quick tip, if you come over here, activate this trapdoor so you drop down, and then activate this trapdoor, you'll actually get put into crawl mode. You're going to want to put a water source here so that it flows over all the way to the center, and then head over to the other side and do exactly the same. In fact, you don't even need to go into swim mode. You can just do it like that. Going back down into your little pipe thing now, you're going to bring out your 2 stone buttons and put 1 either side to block the water from flowing into each other. We're then finally going to break this piece of packed ice and then put a piece of soul sand there instead. And then you can go ahead and put water sources here so that you have yourselves a little bubble column. So now we're going to go ahead and fill in the redstone for this farm. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is come over to the side that has the curve on. So right here, and you're going to place a wall all the way to the surface like so that we sort of have this divider in the middle of the farm. Then you're going to basically want to do the same on the other side like so, and make sure it's on both sides so that we have this little wall here, but a 3 block gap in the middle. You're also going to need to place solid blocks in these locations as well, and punch out that one and that one. Finally, place a block here, 3 blocks in that location, and then extend this platform by 2 blocks like so. Build a little wall around it, and you can punch out the corners if you wish. Then using some temporary blocks, you're going to need to fill in all of the blocks to remove the water because we need to put some redstone here. So now you should have something that looks a little bit like this. You're going to want to go ahead and place in your redstone comparator right here, a lever. Make sure the comparator is in subtract mode. Wrap the redstone dust around the comparator, and then 2 redstone lines, one here going into this block and one on the other side going into that block. If we then flick this lever, you should see that the trapdoors begin flipping up and down rapidly, and this is where our tridents will be for the trident killer. So you need 4 tridents in total, and in terms of where you want to aim on the trapdoors, you want to be aiming on this bottom one, and you kind of want to be aiming for the top half. You kind of want it as close to this trapdoor without actually hitting the corner, so that location is completely fine, and you can do this for all of them. However, it is important to note that often if you unload this farm, the tridents will fall through the trapdoors and break the minecart underneath that we haven't yet put in. So I wouldn't recommend leaving the tridents in when you unload this farm. Likewise, don't leave the farm on when you've unloaded it because it will break itself and the minecarts will get broken. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and add in the actual minecarts now. So firstly, you're going to want to place a water bucket in the very far side with 2 rails like so. That rail will break, but it doesn't matter. We just need to change the direction. And then a minecart like that. That minecart should get pushed to the edge, but not fall through the hole like so. And we just want to do the same on literally every side. And there we go. That is the final one. So we have all 4 of our minecarts in now. Basically, what will happen is when guardians spawn here, they'll go into the minecart where the trapdoor trident killer will then kill them. And you can see our item collection is working properly because we've now got lots of rails. But I'm currently recording this after the rest of the tutorial because I've just realized I've forgotten to add this part in. But you also need to go ahead and place a glass along the top here for this little roof and leave a spot here so that you can, of course, throw in the tridents. If you ever leave the tridents in, they'll fall down and break the minecart, but you can leave the rail there so that you can just put the minecart on that rail to go back in if you want to. And make sure, of course, to do the same for the other side as well. So now we're going to go ahead and extend our bubble elevator all the way to the AFK spot where our actual storage and XP delivery will be. So you should be on roughly Y equals 63. It may also be Y equals 62. It's generally in the Y60 range. It doesn't matter too much what Y level it's on because typically the ocean is on the same no matter what the seed is. So we're just going to build this all the way up to Y equals 100. So there we go. This is Y equals 100, and you want to do this for all of the blocks on this bubble elevator, and then make sure that there are water source blocks inside of the bubble elevator so that it can work properly. If you're in creative, you can just do it like this. If you're in survival, you could put 1 piece of flowing water at the top and then use kelp to convert all that flowing water into water sources. Oh, and don't do that because you may break the redstone. Oh, jeez. So up here is your AFK spot, and it is also the place where you can put all of your storage. I haven't actually included any storage in the materials list or this tutorial because I know people have their own opinions, but let me show you an example of the storage I personally built for this farm. So over here on my testing world, I built this little storage system. It's just a couple of hopper minecarts picking up the items from the water stream and then putting them into these chests. It's completely unorganized and unsorted, but it works. So the AFK spot is essentially anywhere on this platform pretty much. So if I stand here, I'll actually get the XP coming in from this bubble column. And if I happen to not be in that area right now, the XP will basically just loop back around and then get deposited on that AFK spot, which is why it sort of loops back around here. Of course, you could build something a little bit more in-depth like an item filter. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube, but for the most part, the storage, it can be pretty simple if you want it to be, and it's entirely up to you how you do the storage. This is my personal recommendation. I'm sure you could build it from the screenshot here if you just want to go ahead and copy it, or you can build your own. But that is it for today's tutorial. If you do need any help building this farm or have any questions, make sure to join my Discord server and ask in the technical help support channel. There will also be a world download linked in the description on my website where you'll be able to, well, download the world and fiddle with this farm yourself. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.